Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Golden My NBA series. It's your boy RegDolla, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all better go and thank Jay Critch. Y'all better go and thank Jay Critch, because I was not about to record this video because I was tight last night because Duke lost to Tennessee. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little depressed. I felt like it was our year because we just got healthy, and then 5 minutes before the game, Mark Mitchell can't play. I'm like, what? And ended up having a knee injury, and then we ended up losing. And basically, when Duke was fully healthy, they was undefeated. They was 19-1 or 20-1, whatever it was. But that was that loss against Virginia. If you watch college basketball, you know that Duke should have won that game. But anyway, this is the all-season episode. Like I said, you're about to thank Jay Critch because I was bumping him like a little bit earlier. I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. But without further ado, we might as well get into the all-season. What we about to do is run through everything up until the Hoop Summit, because I already got a game for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. The next class, Golden Fictional 3, is coming up after that. And then we basically about to run through everything else. So let's get to it. Started off with the player retirements. I don't know why LeBron's on here, because he retired last year. He was ducking smoke from the Golden Fictional 1 class. Reggie Mack was about to work him. Chris Paul also retired, so he definitely going to the Hall of Fame. Kyle Lowry, we'll see if he get his number retired for the Toronto Raptors. Probably will in real life. Let's see if they do. Al Horford. So it's kind of like the end of an era, like 2007 was they drafted? Yeah, 2007, 2006, CP3, 2005. And they getting old. Westbrook retired. Serge Ibaka, Derrick Rose. This is the end of an era. It's crazy when they about to really retire in real life. Seth Curry retired early too. I don't know why 2K be doing that. I feel like a lot of players be retiring too early. But anyway, let's move on. Staff retirement. Tom Thibodeau hung it up. Nobody else. All right, CP3 and Westbrook only one that went into the Hall of Fame. And I like that 2K added this. Because they only had the numbers at one part, but they added the accomplishments and stuff like that. And this is tough. This is tough as well. And then also, I wanted this in 2K for mad long. I don't know if I showed this in one of my previous videos, but they finally added the all-time leading scorers for teams. Yeah, right here. So you can find the all-time leading scorers for teams and just basically everything. I've been requesting this, and then I think I was talking about this in one episode back in probably a while back. But I might as well elaborate on that. It would be so hard if 2K, I think it was Madden 11 has something similar to this. It was just the leaderboards, the top quarterbacks and stuff like that all time. And if they did something like that in 2K, I feel like that would be mad hard. But let's get back to the episode before I get off track, because that could be a wish list episode that maybe if you guys want me to do, say in the comment section. Westbrook guy's number retired. CP3, Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin not a Hall of Famer? Woo! Damn. Blake didn't make it. Now we gotta look at his numbers. D Rose probably about to be the first Hall of Famer that doesn't make the Hall of Fame. 19-8. Came out the gate averaging 22 and 12. I know he missed his was supposed to be his rookie year, but that's OD. NBA ready. That's kind of, maybe he might not be Hall of Fame. I don't know. That's questionable. All right, where we at? Jersey retirements. So Kyle Lowry didn't get his jersey retired. D Rose didn't get the number 1 retired. I don't know if they about to do that. But let's go to the league minutes. I don't know what we changed. I had to increase the salary cap a little bit. Oh, since it's 36 teams, I just added one more draft. One more spot for each team in the All-Star game, so 13 players. And instead of the top 4 picks are determined by the lottery, whatever the hell it is, I made it 5. All-Star teams. We're going back to All-Star teams in the respective conferences. I feel like that's what made it even more competitive back in the day. And going back to that. And if for whatever reason, before, it never said that I changed this rule to 7 fouls, but I had to change it back to 6 for whatever reason. So that's the league meeting stuff. And the draft lottery, we about to take a look at the results. It doesn't take a look show the odds at first, but the number 1 pick goes to the Sonics, and 2K did some nut stuff. I can't get my logos back because I can't download any teams now for whatever reason. So I'm just gonna have to figure something out. But the Sonics ended up getting the #1 pick. The Spirits were #2. Huskies, Badgers. Y'all can read. Y'all can read. Feel me? We might as well just keep moving on. I know coach hirings. Why isn't I showing any coach hirings? I know Nick Nurse went to the Thunder because Mark Dagnall, he had to go. He had to go. I can't look at my coaches right now? Y'all serious, 2K? Nah, that's crazy. Alright, whatever. Coach is really not that important in 2K. We could take a look at the NBA draft. Actually, let's take a look at the mock drafts. They had Dior Wright as the consensus #1 pick on all three. The top three is basically consensus. Not gonna lie. It didn't turn out that way. It didn't turn out that way. Take a look at the NBA draft. Let's load it up right now. Hold on. With the #1 pick, the Sonics ended up going with Kayvon Kabongo. And the reason why I went with Kayvon, dog, after Reggie Mack left Duke, he was the next one, the next following year, and Duke went back-to-back. First back-to-back champ since Al Horford and Joakim Noah and Corey Brewer days for Florida. I think it was 06, 07 when they did that. Yeah, it was definitely that because Al Horford got drafted 07. So they went back-to-back, but two freshman-led teams. Kayvon Kabongo, 6'10". The front court, the opportunity in the front court is about to be special. You have Kristaps Porzingis at 7'3", Troy Mack at 7'1", and Kayvon Kabongo 6'10", compared to guys like obviously Kevin Durant. You know, the Kevin Durant comparisons just kind of look obvious. And then as well as Michael Porter Jr., he's a lefty too, absolute bucket. The #2 pick, Marquise Allen, went to the Spirits, and he's teaming up in the backcourt with Carlton Davis. That's going to be special in the coming years. And then Jimbo Jackson, I don't know why he was ranked so low, but he was a double-double machine monster at Kentucky. Ended up going #3 pick. And the pairing that they have, the inside-out threat of Danny Tyler and Jimbo Jackson, is going to be something to watch in the future. And then at #4, Dior Wright, after being the projected #1 pick, fell to #4. I don't think something like that has ever happened. And for whatever reason, I can't, like, this class is like, the top 4 is special. Just look at it. Just look at the overalls that they're coming in with. Top 4 is special. Dior Wright going to pair up with Devontae Tucker, and I think he's gonna be something. And we're gonna take a look at what all these players did in Summer League as well. Tyrese Smith at 5, Ricky Cruz at 6. They have Fred VanVleet starting, but he gotta go. He gotta go. Scotty Brown, I like that pick. So you got a Scotty Barnes and Scotty Brown for the Raptors, pairing up with Scoot Henderson and Karl Anthony Towns. Tevin Wilson, who was on the Venom? Oh, the Venom, they got a nice little core too. Austin Mack and Jaden Hardy, both 20-point per game scorers. I think they're under like 23 years of age. Jaden Hardy might be like 22 right now. And then you also got James Wiseman, who finally started to develop his game and was in contention for Most Improved Player of the Year. And then at 4, you plug in Tevin Wilson. I like that a lot. Dante Knight, a great glue guy. I don't know if I can run through all these picks, but you guys can see most of these. Dante Mack at number 11. If I could say someone that's a steal, I think Mario Ellington could end up being a steal at 24. That's one guy to take a look at that can end up being a steal. And then who could be a steal in the second round? Who do I really like in the second round? There's definitely somebody at the top. Romeo Houston? Nah. Oh. I'm going to go Jalen Parker. Jalen Parker. Miami needs some shooting and a wing presence because Jimmy Butler getting up there in age. If he could start to develop, he could turn into a steal. That's my one right there. And then moving on. We hopping into Summer League. Dog. Mo Davis should have never been here. He should have never been here. He averaged 48 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists in Summer League. And let's take a look at some of his games, dog. Bro. He has 62 and 11. That is a summer league record. Hit 11 threes, 10 threes. Ended up having a game where he hit 11 threes. Nah, he was going crazy. 62 and 11. That had to go to double overtime or something. Because he played 45 minutes. Then next game he had 38, 48, 56. Dropping people off. He should have never been here. Bro was letting it fly too. Nah, that's funny as hell. He the franchise player, so they was letting him get his game off. I forgot who they got in the draft. I think it was Latrell Cross. 5-man. Scoot Henderson, he damn sure, he ain't going in. It's a year 3. I think he averaged 20. All right, he averaged 23 last year. Definitely should have been here. But that's what the summer league is like. This is the most stacked summer league. I guess these young guys don't got no shame. They just trying to get their game off. That's what it really is. Jeremy Goodson, average 29. Jalil Iverson, he could be in for a big year 3. If you know Jalil Iverson, he's a straight bucket getter. Needs to be more efficient. He's a better 3-point shooter than what he showed last year. But I think the key is just getting stronger. Getting a little stronger and getting adjusted to the game. And I think he's going to have a pretty good year 2. Chet Holmgren was also in this. Well, I guess, yeah. Because he's supposed to be in year 4, but it's really year 3 for him because he missed it. But this might be his 4th summer league. Hold on, Chet. Nah, this might be his 4th summer league because he definitely played in summer league his rookie year. Well, it was supposed to be his rookie year. Kason Wallace averaged 26. He was hooping. Who was boarding out here? Who was cleaning the glass? Jimbo Jackson cleaning the glass. Board man gets paid. Averaged 21 and 17 in summer league. Nah, we got to take a look at his recent games. All right, yeah, he's going to be a monster. I'm not even going to lie. It's an old school comparison, but he could be the next Moses Malone. He could be the next Moses Malone. He is a force on the glass. I guess similar to Oscar Tshiebwe, but he's 7 feet tall and 275. Absolute monster. Leading in assists, you had Adrian Sparks, the point guard. Nah, they didn't make the conference finals. They lost in Game 7 in the second round to the Miami Heat. 23 and 11. That's pretty impressive for him. And then Dante Mack, who could be the point guard of the future, went to UCLA, averaged 18 and 10. Pierre Duval, with Chris Paul retiring, he's going to be the starting point guard, averaged 15 and 10 as well. Kind of reminds me of Rajon Rondo, but he's a better scorer. A mix of Rajon Rondo and Tony Parker. That's OD. Joe Banks and steals. Who the hell is this? Joffrey Thomas? Hell no. Boy got the flat top. He was punching. Carlton Davis leading in turnovers. All right, who was stanking it up? Mike Miles, Kyle Beacham. What's going on? What's going on, Kyle? Caleb Taylor, who was a first-round pick for the Lakers. Sky Clark wasn't doing well. Clay Hooper, Derek Whitehead struggling. But, like, I'm not really mad because he didn't have a bad second year, but got to be better than that, right? Grady Dick. Danny Tyler wasn't showing it. But Danny Tyler, he already proved that in the regular season. We don't really care about that. But let's take a look at what happened in the Summer League. The champs ended up being the Louisville Badgers, and the MVP was Dior Wright. We got to take a look what he averaged. I don't even think we even saw that. Guess we can take a look at the stats of the champs. He averaged basically 22 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, and 2 steals a game. 51, 41, and 71. Okay, good shooting splits. Take a look at some of the games that he had. He had a stanky one. We ain't gonna talk about that one. He had 37 against Austin Mack. Then in the championship game, didn't shoot it as good, but he shot 50%. Dior Wright, he was showing why he was supposed to be number 1 pick, but it might have worked out for him. He's in a really good situation. Him and Devontae Tucker they got a good young core. Jordan Hawkins, Shea Holloway, Devontae Tucker, Corey Cousins, Jabari Walker they added, Evan Rosati. Oh, that's a guy to look out for. I don't know what the hell he was doing out here. Oh, he out here making me look bad already. Come on, dog. Damn, 7 of 27. Brandon Williams, he was must have getting strapped by Dior Wright. Yeah, he do that. Dior Wright do that. He do that. All right. So, is there anything else we need to take a look at in the summer league? I guess Mo Davis would have probably been like the regular season MVP in summer league. Don't they have like 2 different summer league MVPs? I don't remember. I feel like they do. Or they might have changed it. Anyway. Alright, it's time to take a look at the day 1 rosters of the 2025-2026 Goated era. Year 2 of the Goated era rosters. We got 36 teams, so let's get right to it. And why are we starting off with the Suns? What is going on? What is going on? Alright, so the Philadelphia 76ers, they got DeJounte Murray. Ended up being a lot of moves and trades in the offseason. So, honestly, I don't remember all this off the top of my head, but I'll start to fill you in. Shaedon Sharpe ended up on this team. And Danny Vita, who was a draft pick for the Portland Trail Blazers. And you don't see Joel Embiid on here. Joel Embiid got traded to the Portland Trail Blazers for Shaedon Sharpe, Danny Vita, Jalen Williams out of Arkansas. It was Jeremy Grant, but he ended up getting moved as well, and multiple first-round picks. So now it's Tyrese Maxey and DeJounte Murray in the backcourt. They went the rebuilding route. James Harden ended up leaving the team. We're about to find out where James Harden at right now. Yes, Giannis Antetokounmpo and James Harden are teammates, and they reloaded. And they kind of reorganized the roster. You don't see Drew Holiday or Chris Middleton at all. They ended up picking up Andrew Wiggins, who was younger than Chris Middleton. Middleton also was coming off an injury. They got Bogdanovich. I like this starting 5 as well. Marcus Sasser is a good piece off the bench. Hey, yo, my fault. I must be fraud or something. I thought I heard somebody knocking on my doors. I stopped the video. But this team is tough. It's tough. They got Harden and Giannis. That pick and roll is about to be insane. Wiggins as a 3-and-D guy. Bogdanovich was averaging like 20 last year. Miles Turner as a rim protector. The definitely contenders, 97 overall. And then you got Jeremy Goodson and DeAndre, and they basically brought the team back. Ain't nothing to talk about them. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland. Their big pickup, they added Tobias Harris in the offseason. And KCP as a role guy. So that's 2 solid role players. The Celtics. Might as well call on the Celtics. They lost Derek White. I feel like they just keep losing more depth every year. And they lost Derek White. They lost Grant Williams. And nobody's really stepped up. We got to see what Phil Palsky does or Dustin Williams. They got a lot of young guys that they kind of rely on now. And we'll see how they develop. They still got the 2 J's, though. And then the defending champs, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, after going on an insane duo run at the late ages that they are. That was special. That was special what they did last year. Ended up, damn, their defense is OD. That's what it really is. They rely on the defense, and Kawhi and PG just take them home. They take them home, because other than that, they don't have the other guys like the Norman Powells or Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris, I can't stand him at all. He is terrible. I can't stand that motherfucker. But they got Dorian Finney-Smith, Kendrick Williams. Traquavion Smith is probably the 3rd best scorer on the team, to keep it a buck. He could light it up, though. The Grizzlies, they added Kevin Porter Jr. to the roster. That's what they did. And the Atlanta Hawks ended up getting Drew Holiday. So you got Holiday and Trae Young. Jeremy Grant ended up on this team as well. So this is a way better team than last year. They have way more depth. And a 98 overall, yeah, they could make a run. That's if they stay healthy. The Miami Heat, they ain't doing nothing. They capped up. Jimmy Butler is still the highest. He probably has the worst contract in the league. Well, he got 1 more year, but he is awful. He's definitely a shell of himself now. Age 36, Jimmy Butler getting paid $54 million. They cool. They just gonna be a tough out. You know Miami, how they are. The Charlotte Hornets. They got the Ball brothers out here. No Angelo, though. LaMelo and Lonzo. I like this backcourt a lot. You got Mark Williams, who's starting to grow. Cam Whitmore, who could be in most improved conversations, I think. Bryce McGowan's a good wing scorer. They also added another wing scorer in Marcus Payne. Picked up Darius Bazley. Also added Santi Aldama. They got Gary Harris. And they had a couple other young guys that kind of showed promise. This might be one of the best Hornets teams that we've probably seen in a couple years and forever. They were 500 last year. Could look for no. Oh, they won a game. They won a couple games, I think, against the Knicks last year. And this is a better roster, but we all know they ain't serious. First round out though. The Utah Jazz, they got Walker Kessler and Larry Markkinen. This team basically brought back everybody. Ain't nobody talk about. The Sacramento Kings basically brought back the whole roster. They added Kelly Oubre, drafted Lamar Carter. They still never made the playoffs in this yet. They still never made the playoffs. This roster is better than this year's roster in real life. Let's see if they could do something. Jabari Mack, definitely a better wing than what Harrison Barnes is. And they got Keontae George as well. And the New York Knicks, they ran it back as well. I don't know. Who the hell they drafted? They drafted Dream Lawson. He's probably going to have to play. Him and Matt Adams, they didn't add another point guard. They lost Jalen Brunson. I don't know when he's going to be back. But you got Reggie Mack in year 2. RJ Barrett. We'll see how this pans out. Los Angeles Lakers. They got D'Angelo Russell back on the roster. Lonzo was here last year. Damn, Lonzo went from, how many? Yo, he been on OD teams already. Drafted to the Lakers. Then traded to the Pelicans. Then went to the Bulls. Signed with the Bulls. Then after the Bulls in this, he signed with the Rockets for a year. Then he went to the Lakers. Well, went back to the Lakers, and now he on the Hornets. And they basically brought back their core, drafted 2 guys in the first round, I think. Paolo Banchero, the Orlando Magic. Who they had? Buddy Hield was their big pickup in the offseason. The Dallas Mavericks, they was disappointed. I don't think they made the playoffs. I don't think they made the playoffs. Disappointing. Anthony Simons is a New Jersey Net. So is Moses Moody. Moses Moody. The Kendrick Perkins. Chris Murray is on the Nets now as well. The Nuggets didn't do anything. I've been trying to trade Bones Highland, but there's really no real package, and we might have to just trade him for a bag of chips soon. Might have to trade him for a bag of chips like they did in real life, but I guess you might as well keep him because he's not really messing up the chemistry. He's still getting his buckets. The Pacers landed Chris Middleton in the offseason. They got Benedict Mathurin. Tyrese Halliburton. We already know Tyrese Halliburton. He's a special guard. I feel like they could really start to do something now. They could really start to do something because Mathurin was wilding. He was wilding last year. Trent Beretta is a great big man of the future. They was the ones that also snagged up Derek White as well. The 4th spot is just probably the shakiest one with Bob Miller, but he had a solid second year, third year, whatever he was in. Then you got Zion and B.I. I've been trying to trade C.J. McCollum too as well. They need a real point guard. I don't think C.J.'s it for in real life. C.J. used to be my dog in real life, but just watching him more and more on the Pelicans, he just be pissing me off. And I feel like the Pelicans need to go in a different direction and bring in a real point guard. And he's not worth the $33 million that he is worth, that he's getting paid. Pistons, they ain't doing nothing. The Raptors, they ain't doing it. Damn, now the Raptors got some wings. They got some wings. Scotty Barnes, Jalen Miller. You got Josh Green, drafted Scotty Brown. And you also got Zaire Williams as well. Yeah. They surrounded Cat with a lot of really good defenders. You still got Cam Thomas though. I ain't gonna talk about him. You know what he about them buckets. That's all he about. The Rockets, they was good last year. The surprise team last year, other than the Knicks. I guess the surprise team in the West, we could call it. Sengun, Jabari Smith. Shout out to Jabari. He been hooping recently. Hit 2 game winners. This team really just don't move me crazy like that, but they was good. Let's see if they can replicate it. I saw the Knicks be good for a year, then they was trash the next. But they good now, so they added Jalen Brunson. That's what they really needed. San Antonio, they got a lot of really still young pieces that haven't blossomed yet. Kyle Beachum, he stunk it up in Summer League. Disappointed me. But they also got Josh Tillman, Donatas Vadas. I think he's going to be a really good player as well. Jeremy Suhan. I think once they get older, this is going to be a deep team. A deep San Antonio team like the old days. And we'll see if Wembanyama could be that generational prospect and carry like what Tim Duncan ended up being. Because the pieces around him, if they develop, Devin Vassell is a guy to keep. Malachi Branham could score. Jeremy Suhan does it all. Kyle Beachum is one of the best playmakers that we probably seen from the point guard spot in years. At 6'8". And he's a proven winner. The floor general of a national championship team, so you know what he could do. Donatas Vadas played in the G League Ignite, was really good and productive. I think he could be like a Gallinari plus. A better version of Gallinari. Josh Tillman, probably one of the most athletic guys that played for San Antonio ever. Terrence Mann, we already know what he brings to the table. Blake Wesley hasn't really got there yet. They might move off him to free up more minutes for Josh Tillman. Devin Brown, a really good, intriguing two-way guy at the point guard spot. JJ King, Garuba, like this team is deep with young guys. We gotta see how they plan out. And one thing is, can you develop all these young guys together? I think that's gonna be the big question, because that's my biggest concern. How do you develop all these guys? They don't have too much vets. Like the only vet is Terrence Mann, really, and then TJ McConnell that doesn't really get playing time. We'll see how San Antonio. That's an intriguing team this year. The Phoenix Suns basically brought back everybody. Added THT and Shake Milton in the offseason. And the OKC Thunder, they didn't really make any moves at all either. They ain't making any moves at all. They got a new coach, which they think that was probably their biggest problem. KD getting up there in age, he don't really be trying to go crazy like that. But it just looks like it's Rich Mac's team. I think it just has to be established. It's definitely established now going into the season of Rich Mac team. Because as a rookie, you really never know. You got Shai Alexander and Kevin Durant. So that probably could have been like shaky. And like, oh, do we run through him? Like, who gets... He probably not going to get the final shot. But like, just distinguishing everything and finding out this is our guy, I think they're going to be better than next year. Well, damn, they in 99 OD. Yeah, I think they might go off. They might go off this year. I said that last year, though. Anthony Edwards, Pascal Siakam. They lost CP3. Pierre Duval is up next, though. We'll see how he develops. I really like him a lot. And the Portland Trailblazers is probably the biggest winners in the offseason. They brought back Gary Trent. They added Bobby Portis. And most importantly, they added Joel Embiid and Damian Lillard. This might be his best chance of ever winning a championship. And you know, one of the funny things is they got Joe Banks right here, and he most reminds me kind of Ben Simmons, but more aggressive. And Embiid, we'll see how they pair up together. I think Joe Banks can end up being like a better version of what Ben Simmons was, especially for this roster. And now he's not relied upon to be like the second guy. You got Damian Lillard, Gary Trent already has chemistry with Dame, great guy that could really defend. Joe Banks is going to do everything else probably but shoot the ball really well. Bobby Portis, we saw him play next to Giannis. Josh Minot was solid. Grayson Allen. And it starts to thin out. So we're going to see how the bench ends up holding up for the Portland Trailblazers. Golden State, they picked up Keldon Johnson. I think the three-way trade was like, it might have... I had to make like multiple trades because you can't make like 14 trades. So I had to trade somebody here and the intentions that I'm going to trade them there. So that's a lot of stuff that I'll be doing in the offseason. But, damn, I don't know what exactly it was. Keldon Johnson. All right, so who? Chris Middleton went to the Pacers. Keldon Johnson was on the Pacers, so he had to be a part of that trade. That's all you really need to know. Keldon Johnson's on the Warriors. You got Patrick Baldwin Jr. and Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know. Patrick Baldwin been starting to develop his game. Jalen Hood-Schifino is my guy. Who else they got? Basically, everybody else might have returned. Corey Kispert and Tim Hardaway Jr. is added. And they also got Isaiah Jackson in that trade. Washington Wizards, they're still mid. Bradley Beal is still under contract. Nobody wants that contract. John Collins, he aight. You got 3 guys that's not worth their money. And that's 3 of the top 4 guys on the roster. But they added Ricky Cruz, Rico Ryder, Brandon Miller. We'll see how he does in year 3. Usman Chang. One guy I thought they got some really good young talent. I'm not gonna lie. Mario Ellington really intrigues me. Taylor Hendricks as well. But the thing is, they play the same position together, and they're both probably not gonna start. And they added Bol as well. And the Sonics, I was talking about them. Like, their front line, this front court could be special. Even though Porzingis getting up there in age. Maybe as he develops, he still has a 3-point shot. Needs to protect the rim like a little bit. But you got Troy Mack helping and Kayvon Kabongo, who's a 2-way guy. And they got Herb Jones, DeAndre Hunter coming off the bench, Jordan Clarkson, who could light it up as a guard. They need that. And 2 other spark plugs coming off the bench. They got the #1 pick, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do make a run to the playoffs this year. But the West is tough. The whole league is tough. And St. Louis Spirits, this could be a special backcourt of the future. Both guys, I think, have superstar level potential if they both reach it. But high level guy, Marquise Allen, he was either at Memphis or the G League, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but he lit it up. Probably the best scorer in the class, other than Kayvon Kabongo. No, he is the best scorer in the class. I'm gonna keep it a buck. The best scorer in the class, and then Carlton Davis, who reminds me so much of Penny Hardaway and like a Tyreek Evans. And you got Malik Beasley. They added Ben Simmons, but he's not gonna be relied upon to really be a ball handler. Marvin Bagley had a little bit of resurgence here. Well, not a resurgence. He never really took off. David Roddy was at the 5 spot. They weak. They're probably not gonna be that good this year. And get another top guy, so not too worried about that. But I like the future. The Las Vegas Venom. I was talking about this team already. Other than the top 4 guys, Jake LaRabia, he's been pretty good for this team. Ain't nobody really talk about. So Louisville Badgers, who ended up winning the Summer League, Devontae Tucker and Dior Wright. That's a duo to look out for in the future. We talked about them because they young as hell. Pittsburgh Force, Mo Davis and Latrell Cross. They're still lacking a lot of talent. Cam Reddish, he aight. Poku, yeah, this team not too crazy. Not too crazy. And the last one, we got Danny Tyler and Jimbo Jackson. That's going to be a real fun duo to look out for. The rest of the roster, Denny Adia, he ended up having a breakout year last year. Lonnie Walker, nothing too crazy. They're not going to be that good. They're not going to be that good. And they're probably going to get a top draft pick next year. And if they could get somebody on the wing, they cooking. They are cooking. And that's it. That's it. That's all 36 teams. If you made it this far, I appreciate you, man. Feel me? Still a little depressed about that Duke loss, starting to come down on me again that we not about to play next week. They were supposed to play in the Garden, too, and I was probably going to go to that game. That's what pisses me off, too, dog. Ah, man. Hit the like button for me, please. Please, make a brother day. Make a brother day. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to have some games coming soon. Also, I got to give you the Hoop Summit before we get the premier games, feel me? But in the comment section, let me know what teams y'all want me to play with. Because I'm probably going to play a couple games. And then, kind of like I did last year. Probably play total like 9 games in a regular season. That's how I might shoot for. And then the 10th one will probably be the 10th or 11th maybe is probably the All-Star game. And what am I forgetting? The rookie or sophomores. Yeah, that's it. So it's your boy RegDolla. As always, stay safe, be goated, and I appreciate you. I'm out.